Hey, welcome to the City Rev Life podcast. My name is Robey, and this is a special episode because this month is February and it's Black History Month. And so I wanted to share with you 4 books that my wife Rebecca and I read with our kids at various points throughout the year intentionally. And this is a great month to read these particular books. They're books about incredible leaders in our country that have taken a stand for justice. And before I share these, why is this so important? I think every Christian family should read books like this. There's probably other great books like it. These are 4 that we really like. But why is this so important? Because I want to bring models of leaders before my children that display the self-sacrificing leadership that Jesus displayed. This is Christ-likeness. This is what it looks like to take a stand and be a change agent, often when it costs so much personally. This is what it looks like to be a change agent in a culture, in a city, in a country. And these are incredible leaders that we want to show before our children as models. And so that's why it's so important and why I love these books so much. Let me just start with the first one. This first one is called Moses, When Harriet Tubman Led Her People to Freedom. Harriet Tubman might be one of the greatest Americans in our history, a woman who not only risked so much to find freedom from slavery, but then went back and freed so many people out of slavery. And what I love about this book, just beautifully illustrated all throughout. And what I love this book is it talks about how specifically she's leaning and depending on the Lord. She's guided by the Lord on her journey. And so I love this book. Great one to share with your kids. One that I love that my kids have a good understanding of this incredible woman. The next one is this book, Frederick's Journey, The Life of Frederick Douglass. Each of these books are just, this is the title here, each of these books are just wonderfully illustrated throughout. And Frederick Douglass, I mean, just an incredible individual who, in unbelievable obstacles he overcame to find freedom, but then gave his life to help stand for justice. He could have just spent the rest of his life just spending that freedom on himself, but he gave the rest of his life to stand for justice in our country, became one of the most significant leaders in our history. I want my kids to know about this incredible man, and so I love this book. These last 2 books are about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. This book here is I Have a Dream. It is excerpts from Dr. Martin Luther King's famous I Have a Dream speech. And all through this, again, wonderfully illustrated, take just snapshots of this speech. And then at the end, it has the entirety of the speech that is just so stirring. This is one of the greatest speeches in our nation's history, one of probably the greatest speeches in modern history about freedom, where he's calling America to continue to strive forward to live up to the ideal that it was founded on, that all men and women are created equal, which is such a lofty ideal that we have not always stood upon and are still striving to reach, but something based deeply on biblical principles and something that we continue to strive for. And we want to release our kids as leaders to continue to strive for justice and righteousness for all in our cities and in our nation. I want the words of this speech to be very familiar to my kids. And then this last one is also on Martin Luther King Jr. It's called Martin's Big Words, The Life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. This is what the title is. Again, just wonderfully illustrated. It talks about his life. He grew up in a pastor's home, became a pastor himself, and used words and used his life to take a stand for justice. And so I want my kids to have a working understanding of these leaders, because my hope and my prayer is that all of our kids are rised up, used and empowered by God to be city changers, and are willing to take a stand for others, for justice for others, regardless at the personal expense it may be in their lives. And so February is a great month to talk about that. There's other great moments around the year, but February is a great month to expose our families to these incredible leaders that God has used in a big way. Hey, thank you for joining the City Rev Life podcast, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for joining us on City Rev Life. You can subscribe to this podcast, rate and review wherever you're listening to this. And we love it when you share it with your friends on social media. For more videos and content, go ahead and check us out at cityrev.org/podcast or download our City Rev Church app. Have a great day.